Staircase drawing are generally considered to be challenging because staircase is a 3D element, but in drawings you'll have to present it in 2 dimension. In this video, we'll understand the nuances of staircase drawing, and by the end of the video, you'll probably understand how to read and draw the staircase drawing. So without any further ado, let me share my screen. Alright, let's get started. Here are a couple of things that I've arranged for the discussion. Let's start with the question, what is staircase? So staircase is an architectural element. It provides vertical circulation in a building connecting different floors, or let's say different levels, as simple as that. And another question would be, what is the purpose of staircase drawing? So staircase drawing translates design of a staircase into a technical information so that it can be constructed at site with zero errors. Purpose is zero errors at site. It connects levels. And the third thing that I want to touch upon is, what are the primary components of staircase, of any staircase? I would like to start with flight, and another would be width of a staircase, tread, riser. The next can be, let's say, mid landing, and last but not the least, railing. There could be a more number of components than this, depending on the design of a staircase, depending on the material of a staircase, whether it's a concrete staircase, steel staircase, wooden staircase, but these are the bare minimum that you usually find. So alright, let me pull this image and explain it with the help of this one. So let's start with flight of a staircase. So flight of a staircase, the continuous run that you see between two different landings is called a flight. This is another flight, this is another flight. So technically you may also call this a flight because there are two mid landings. So yeah, we can call this, there are 3 flights in this staircase. The next thing is width. As simple as that, how wide the staircase is, this is called the width of a staircase. Right. And what is tread? Let me zoom in a bit. The horizontal part, or let's say the depth of a step, is called the tread of a staircase. And the vertical part that you see of a step is the riser of a staircase. The next would be mid landing. So as the name suggests, mid landing is the resting levels or a mid levels in a staircase connecting two different levels. So in this case we have 2 mid landings, mid landing 1, mid landing 2. Last but not the least is railing. So the entire thing is called railing. However, the topmost part is called handrail, and this vertical member is called balustrade So for now, I think this is good enough and we'll proceed further. Now let me do some sketching and scribbling before moving to the actual staircase drawing that I would like to share in a moment. So what does staircase drawing usually consist? So it generally consists of plans and sections, and the number of plans depend on the number of building levels that the staircase is connecting. Number of building levels that staircase is connecting. And when it comes to section, we generally have at least one section, but you could also have 2 or 3 depending on how complex the staircase is and how complex the design is. There's no hard and fast rule here. We would generally prefer plans and sections to be on the same scale. So the ideal scale for a staircase drawing in metric would be 1:50, whereas in imperial it is quarter of an inch. Whereas if you're doing any joinery details or let's say nosing details, you may want to use 1:25 or 1:10 in metric. On the other hand, in imperial you may want to use half an inch scale or 3/4 an inch scale. Now let me show you the actual staircase drawing. So this is one of the staircase drawing that I had prepared long time back, back in 2016 when I was working as a junior architect, drawn by me, checked by senior. Staircase, this is good for construction, or you can also call this an issue for construction drawing. For confidentiality reasons, I have not shown the consultant's name here. So all in all, not a bad drawing, I would say. Maybe I'm being biased here, I don't know, but yeah, looks decent enough. And there are a couple of things that I may want to do differently now. Yeah, I think there are too many levels that are shown here. Mid landing level, I may not want to show these levels here. I would rather annotate here and show the levels here. And another thing would be railing. Railing looks really terrible. I don't know why we only show the handrail. Vertical members, balustrades are missing. Anyways, never mind. Let's move forward. So like we discussed earlier, we have 6 plans and 2 sections, and number of plan depends on the number of levels that the staircase is connecting. So here you can see, we'll not consider this a building level, 1 level, something no mid landing. Road level and internal level will not consider this a building level. Stealth floor 2, upper 3, 4, 5, and terrace is another level. So we have 6 number of levels, we have 6 number of plans. Let's quickly zoom in to see what all details are there. So we have finished floor level, we have step numbering, we have dimensions of the landing, we have section mark. The floor plans are in sequence: basement, stilt floor, upper ground floor, first floor, second, and terrace. This is where the staircase ends. Now let me explain you these step numbering, how it is derived. For this we'll come to the section. So we've considered zero level where my ground floor is or a stilt floor is. So anything below is the numbering of the step is in negative. This is -1, -2, -3, -10, -13. And yeah, by the time we reach the basement floor level, we have step -27. And anything above this would be in a positive, will have a positive value, 1, 2, 3, 10, 20. And by the time we reach terrace, it is step 98. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now coming back to the floor plans, things could get a little tricky for somebody who is new at this particular point where my break line is. So what does this represents? This represents that my staircase continues beyond this point, but it also represents that this is where my cut plane lies. So what do I mean by cut plane? The horizontal level at which we're cutting the floor plan. Let me demonstrate here in the section. So if you look at the plan, -27, this is where my basement, this is where we're starting the staircase at the basement level, -27. We are going up from this level and you see a break line here at -19, probably -18, 19. I think -18 would be somewhere here. So if there's this guy, my cut plane is, let's say, is at a level where I'm cutting the floor plan. Let's assume there's a person whose eye level is at this level and we are cutting the staircase floor plan at this level. And yeah, so in the basement floor plan, if this is my eye level, then what is visible to me? Only the region below this cut plane, and anything beyond this cut plane will be in dotted. So this is what you can see here. So anything beyond -18 is showing a break line, which means the staircase continues. However, it is not visible to us at this particular floor plan, and we will show this in the upper level. So -27, we are going up, -18 here. Now let's come to the upper floor plan, basement and stilt floor, or let's say ground floor. Coming to ground floor or stilt floor, my FFL is, finished floor level is at 600. So if I have to come to section here, 600. So I am standing somewhere, I'm standing here, -600. And where is my cut plane? Cut plane is at step number 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably somewhere here. So what this means, in the stilt floor plan, what you will see is within this range, you will see the highlighted portion. So in the stilt floor plan, what you're seeing is there are steps going upward from step number 1 to step number 9. But at the same time, if you're standing here, you can also see the steps that are going downwards. So, and it ends at this view range. So this is what you see here. There are steps going upward. There's a break line after step number 7, which means the steps continues. However, we will not be able to show it in this particular plan. And at the same time, there are steps going down, and there are steps going beyond -16. So this is what the break line represents. Similarly, if you go to the upper floors, upper ground floor plan, which is at floor finish level of 3550, which is probably here, and where's my cut plane? Step number 29, probably somewhere here. And in this floor plan, what you will see is within this limit. So if I'm standing here, I can see steps going from 23 to 29, and at the same time I can see steps going downwards, 20, and it is showing up to this level, step number 8. So this is usually the trickiest part of any staircase, that understanding the range or the view range. So similarly, this gets repeated. The other level is my upper ground 3350, the next level is 7750, you know, it repeats. The next is this particular thing is visible, and so on. And this is the last level at which the staircase is ending, the terrace level. And you may find here a different approach. You will not see a break line here because let me show you here in the section itself. So my terrace level is at 15250, which is here. So if I'm standing here, and if this is the level at which my view range is, then what I can see is only the steps that are going down. There are no steps going up. So that is why at the level where the staircase is ending, you will not see any break line because all the steps are going downwards. So 98 all the way up to 74 is what you see. So this is the summary of how the staircase drawings is usually represented. I'm not really 100% sure that I have given justice to the explanation. I'm a little low on confidence. I think I could have done better. Anyways, just let me know if you need further explanation or if there's anything that I missed. I'll be happy to help.